Before I let you cut your hair. Hey, anyways, I don't know what vibe I'm on. But anyway, as I said in the last video, I ain't filmed in a minute, y'all. It's been a whole week. I've been doing me. How about y'all? But anyway, yeah, so, there's something about these curly cuts. I think we hear the word curly and we're excited because it sounds like it's for us. But I do believe there are some people who should not get a curly cut and actually should get their hair cut in alternative ways. And then the word curly cut means so many different things. And so I think we need some clarity on what exactly that means before deciding what is the best move for our each individual own selves. Hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel where I share my personal hair journey and tips, tricks, and product reviews to help you with your own. So the first thing that I would say to someone who's considering getting a curly cut is there are some questions that you have to ask yourself. Question number one, and y'all already know that this question was going to be on here, but how do you wear your hair? If you get your hair straightened once a quarter, if you straighten your hair once a month, if you straighten your hair once a year for Christmas, it's probably not in your best interest to get a curly cut, because depending on the style of curly cut that you get, some of them just don't really look really good straightened. Especially, I would say more like the DevaCurl ones and stuff, because of the way that they cut the hair. Straightened, it doesn't really look that great. It doesn't mean they botched your hair. It just means that they cut your hair for how you are typically wearing it. So if you typically wear your hair in a wash and go, yeah, get a curly cut. If you straighten your hair at all, I would say don't get a curly cut, but I say if you get one, prepare to be possibly disappointed when you go and actually straighten your hair. I'm someone who hasn't straightened my hair in 10 years, so I don't really care about having my hair look good straight, but it's a consideration. We'll put a pin in that because there is a caveat to that, because there is a way to get your hair cut curly to where it looks good straight as well. Second question that you should ask when you are considering getting a curly cut is how much layering do you want? There are curly cuts that really play up the volume and the shape of our hair, like really making like it round and like really going the topiary route with how customizing it is. I would say my original haircut that I got when I first got a curly cut was very layered. Like it kind of beveled here, and then it had some longer pieces that kind of went in here. It was very much a cut that was very catered to the fact that I have, textured hair. But as my hair got longer, my hairstylist more so mimics a straight hairstyle. So I basically have like long layers, and it's slightly beveled on the ends. Don't look at this as the example of it though, because my hair is definitely in need of a haircut. I've already booked. I will be in the chair really soon. But when my hair is cut and fresh, it more closely resembles the type of cutting that one would get on straight hair. So consider how many layers you want. Do you want short pieces all the way up here to create volume at the crown, or do you want your hair just to be neat and cleaned up in a similar way to how straight hair would be cut? And the last question that's going to branch off into a lot of directions for this video is, do you even know what kind of curly cut that you want? This is really, really important. This is going to guide how you find stylists. This is also going to guide the look that you're going to get in the end. So I do have a brief little list of some curly cutting styles. I tried to stick to ones that I had heard of, but I'm not everybody, so you may know cutting styles that I don't. Yes, there are more than the ones that I'm about to list. So definitely look them up and get into them to decide which one of the cuts you feel is best for you, and who actually can provide that type of curly cut that you want. So list. So the first kind is DevaCurl. They cut curl by curl, so they literally pick the curl up, decide if it needs to be cut, and do that. This type of cutting has been changed. They have changed the method, and you will never really see anyone do the method. If you notice anyone going to the DevaCurl salon on a YouTube video, they either have the camera angled in such a way, or like they cut stuff off, or like one time I saw them put like edit like a black dot where the person was cutting, so you couldn't see in the mirror what they were doing. So I believe the original method of cutting curl by curl has been changed to something else. The Diva cuts, they really do create like a lot of volume. They're helping create that lift instead of having a triangle head. So that's a consideration to make if you really want that kind of curly cut. The second one is Ouidad. I felt like this one would be kind of more common as well. It's called the Carve and Slice. It is a wet cut. They do not cut your curls dry. And then basically what they're trying to do, their whole goal is to kind of like fit your hair together, like the curls lay into each other like a puzzle piece. Yes? And I know like you're like, well, what the heck? But when my hairstylist posted a picture recently of someone's curls, and it literally looks like their curls were laying into each other perfectly. And so that's what Ouidad is trying to do. And then I've heard some folks refer to it as like a bulk reducing cut, like it kind of reduces the bulk of the hair overall by removing some of it. And then I believe the Ouidad cut is supposed to be like, one of the principles is, you know, when you cut your hair dry, like the Diva cut, you are cutting that particular wash and go into perfection. But then when you go and wash your hair and style it the next time, your curls are not going to lay exactly in the same way as they did the last time. Whereas with the Ouidad, you are cutting it wet, and so it's more likely to have a more consistent puzzle fitting result every single time that you wash your hair. That's I'm not saying that that's what you're gonna get. I'm just saying that that's what they said. They would see it. Okay. Okay, so for the Rizzo cut, okay, Rizzo cut. This one is all about versatility for me, I feel, because it's some kind of, their whole thing is about allowing the hair to move freely from the roots. So my thinking is, if the hair is moving around and going other places, it doesn't necessarily have to lay in a certain way for your cut to be on point. So the whole goal of the Rizzo cut is to maintain your length. So if your long hair is your goal, they're not really trying to take too much length off. And then also the Rizzo cut is one that I have heard can be straightened and it still looks pretty good straight. So if you're someone who does straighten your hair and wear your hair curly back and forth like that, might want to look into a Rizzo cut for versatility. And also if you're trying to preserve your length and you really want to grow your hair out but you want your ends to be healthy, also you might want to look into a Rizzo cut. And then this one is I believe it's referred to as the amplified curl cut. This is the type of curl cut that you would get from people who are trained by Black Girl Curls. They do the professional training called Cut It Kinky for the, you know, hairstyles or whatever to go to. This, first of all, 3D shapes. There's going to be some type of shape going from here, from front to back. There's going to be a shape going from side to side. Literally at every angle, there's going to be something that is very curated and very much on purpose. Shape is king, and the shapes tend to be very sharp and very definite. These are the type of hair shapes that if you grow an inch of hair, your hairstyle ain't looking how it looked before. These are haircuts that even though I haven't gotten an amplified curl cut, I know that I'm really lazy with maintenance. And so it would be just all types of growing out and all types of looking a mess, and it would look a mess quick. Just knowing me. So if you're someone who perhaps is as lazy as me and you're not willing to do the upkeep and the maintenance to make sure that it looks good all the time, I don't know if this would be the best kind of haircut for you. But it definitely is someone who, like, you want your hair to really make an impact. And visually just look really like, oh my gosh, she got together. That's so cool. It's kind of like people who get a really like clean cut at the barbershop and you're like, dang, like he's really killing it. That's what it is for me with the amplified curl cut. It is a really, really like, this person really cares about their hair and they got it cut so cool and so nice. I don't think it's for lazy ragamuffins like myself. Not for the lazy ragamuffins. As I said before, these are not the only curl cuts that are out there. Definitely like type in like types of curly haircuts and you will see tons of them, because knowing which one of these cuts you want is going to be instrumental in helping you to find a professional to cut your hair. And that being said, I do have a video that tells you how to use this information to find someone to cut your hair. So I'm going to link that video. And then right underneath it, listen, we all ain't able, and some of us like to cut our own hair. So I have a video where I give a detailed rundown of every single way that I've cut my own hair, because before going to the salon, I did it myself, and I did it myself for years. So I'm going to link that there so you guys can go check that out. As always, Subscribe. I post videos every week, and I'll talk to you in the next one.